I was in two minds about this because obviously it's pretty pricey, especially if you're one of these people who's contemplating buying the CD and the vinyl version, or is thinking, I'm only going to buy one, I'll buy the vinyl one. Now, let me tell you the story first of all about the 2014 version. I bought the CD version of that, not when it came out, but I found it in a HMV shop in, it might have been Birmingham actually, and it wasn't sort of like in the rack, it was just like in an ordinary CD case with a label, and if you want to see this, that's behind the counter. And I thought, that can't be that box set that's got all the nights, all the 4 or 5 discs in or whatever, because it's ridiculously cheap, and it was. And I went up to the counter and I said, can I see this? And the bloke bought it, and there it was in the gold box, and it was all still sealed up and stuff. The only thing that appeared to me to be potentially wrong with it, I don't know, why did I go and get it? Yeah, there we go. The only thing to me that appeared to be potentially slightly wrong with it was the fact that the label on the back had been stuck on a little bit skew with. That was the only thing that appeared to be wrong with it. So I thought, you know what, I'll snap that up. I'd already got that 3 CD set from Japan that had come out a few years before that. So, again, you could argue I didn't even need this, but it is a really nice package. So I bought that, and I'd got that, so I was quite happy. Then, around, I don't know, when would it be? Probably the year after lockdown, probably the summer after we'd all been allowed to start going back out again or whatever. I was looking on eBay, and I saw the 10LP version. Not the 10LP version, the 9LP version. And I thought, that looks interesting. And it was at quite a low price. I'd only just started, and it was quite cheap. I thought, well, you know what, I think I'd quite like to buy that. And we'd been through all that lockdown, haven't we? So, and everything, so not been going out much and all that sort of stuff. So there was a little bit of spare cash knocking about, and I thought, you know what, I've seen that around. I've not seen that around at all, really. I'll put a sneaky bid in for it. And I did, and it was only about 200 quid, I think, 220 quid maybe. And I won the auction. And here it is, the 2014 one in the box. It weighs an absolute ton. Now, the interesting thing about this is, not only did I get a bargain, because this is going for like 450, 500 quid now, and I paid, it was about 217 or 227 or 207, something like that anyway. It was in the low part of the 200s. When it arrived, right, and it came, and the bloke had put in his thing, it's got one little dink on it, and there's this little dink here, you can see there's a little dink in the box. It's tiny little dink in the box. I thought, well, that don't matter. So, it arrives, and then I noticed this. I look on the back, I've shown this before, so apologies if you've seen it already. You can see that little sticker down there, look, is a little P, which means it's a promo copy. Now, on this label at the top here, it's got limited edition Super Deluxe 9LP box set, the complete 1972 Japanese tour with encores, newly remastered and on vinyl for the first time. LP1, Osaka 15th August, LP2, Osaka 16th August, LP3, Tokyo 17th August, 180 gram heavyweight vinyl, plus MP3 download code and a 60-page book. Brilliant. But, what happens when I open it? Well, I'll show you now. I do this, it's going to be quite difficult. Well, there it is, I'm holding it in one hand. The top is now going to come off. I'm going to do this. And here comes the top popping off. Probably need a glamorous assistant for this, but I haven't got one. There you go, there's the box. What's the first thing that I see when I open the box? And my first thought is, I've been diddled here. Because the first thing that comes out of the box, now look as well, I'll show you this to you so you can see what it is. It is a gold sleeve copy of the original album, the Made in Japan album. But the back to black version includes a voucher to download the MP3 version of the album, 180 gram heavyweight vinyl. Okay, that's not supposed to be in this box. What else is in the box? Well, obviously I'm not going to get it all out. There's all the other albums there in the box. You've got the 3 albums and you've got the book as well at the bottom. Now, the thing is, and this is what got me thinking, this, which I've actually put in a cover since, which I probably should take out, but make them fit. In fact, no, look at it, I've put them all in covers. That shows you how much room there is. That goes in there and it fits in there perfectly. Okay? And it shuts up. So this isn't a 9 LP box. This is an 11 LP box. And it's got this little promo sticker on. And what I discovered was that these promo copies that were sent out to, well, they were sent out to presumably reviewers or something, they put a copy of the album in as well so they could compare it with the remix. So they got the whole package there so they could listen to the original album and then listen to the whole thing as well. So it was there for comparison purposes. So if you ever see one around which has got a little promo box on, have a look and see if it's got the gold in, because I ended up with getting a bonus copy of the actual album that came out, the double gold sleeve one. And bizarrely as well, I don't listen to that very often because I don't, this is going to sound weird, I don't like it. Of course I like it, but I prefer it when it's in the right order and there aren't any gaps in between the songs and all that sort of stuff. So I very rarely play the gold sleeved version. I normally play one of the others. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm probably going to give that new box set a bit of a miss because I don't need it. I've got all the stuff on these. I'm going to put this down, it's heavy. I don't need it, and because I'm not a fan of this Stephen Wilson, but as I said the other day about things, I try and avoid the hype with everything. Everybody's going about, give him an album and make it sound so much better, it'll be brilliant once he's got his hands on it. And I'm thinking, well, do you know what? Made in Japan's been around for 50 years and everybody's always said it's the best live album and it's brilliant already. The version that was done in 2014 gave it a sort of fresh coat of paint, if you like. Does it need to be drastically changed? And then people started talking about it. And this was again the bizarre thing, because obviously I'm a big collector of Deep Purple, and I know a lot of people that are big collectors of Deep Purple. I know a lot of people who are involved with members of Deep Purple. I know people who write books about Deep Purple. I know people who do all sorts of stuff, and people who get sent these records as test presses to see if they're any good, and people who get asked to make up the track listings for compilations. I know people like that, so I know a lot of people who know what they're talking about. And the thing was, half of them were telling me it's a load of rubbish, and the other half of them were telling me it's brilliant. And so I'm now thinking, well, you know what, I respect this bloke's opinion, and he says it's rubbish. I respect this bloke's opinion, and he says it's brilliant. The only way I'm going to be able to work it out is to find out for myself and have a listen to it. So I thought, maybe I'll just buy the standalone Stephen Wilson version, which you can get, I think, now going for about 35 quid. So that's what I was going to do. Then I watched the episode from Phil Aston on Now Spinning magazine, where he was going into it in real detail. And he said something which was very important and which is eventually now going to cost me money. So, but it's also exciting. I knew Richard Digby Smith had done the other 3 nights and done them in the same sort of style, if you like, as the 2014 one, where the nights were all together and the encores were on and all that sort of stuff. Now, of course, Richard Digby Smith was involved with Ireland. Everybody knows that my other big rock love is sort of Free and all the bands that are on there. So Richard Digby Smith is involved in quite a lot of stuff that I've got already. And I think he did some stuff with the back catalogue of Free as well, and didn't make a bad job of that. So I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to be interested to hear what he's made in Japan. And again, what happened with that as well is a couple of other people whose opinions I do respect had said to me, yeah, it's all right, but it's the same. It's not really that much different. And so I was thinking, well, okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll just see if it turns up cheap somewhere. If it turns up cheap somewhere, I'll buy it then. Phil Aston said the important thing. He said the important line, and half of me is thankful, no, more than half of me is thankful for him for saying that. The other half of me, or the wallet half of me, the bank manager half of me, is thinking, what did he say that for? Richard Digby Smith has left everything in. You see, I don't want somebody to come swanning along to the greatest live album in the world ever and go, I'm going to take that bit out, or I'm going to turn this bit down, I'm going to turn that bit up, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to change that around. That was one of the problems that I had with the Machine Head thing, with the Diesel Zapper thing, because I ended up liking that. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that he took things that weren't a part of the album and added them in. That line at the end of Smoke on the Water where Ian Gillan says break a leg, Frank, that was not a part of the Machine Head sessions. That was what he said live on stage, and he's lifted that from the live bit and put it into the studio bit. I don't agree with that bit. I don't think he should have done it. But anyway, so Richard Digby Smith has left all of the stuff in between the songs, apparently. I haven't heard it yet, so I'm going solely on what Phil Aston said on his episode about it, and I've got no reason to think that he wouldn't be telling anything other than the exact truth. Nothing cut out. All the tuning up, all the talking is all there where it's supposed to be. That is how I want to listen to those 3 nights at least once while I'm still alive. So I'm going to have to get it now, aren't I? So it's a case of, do I get the CD, or do I get the vinyl, or do I see which one's available, or see what's what, and all that sort of stuff. But now I'm going to have to get one. So you might say I don't need it because I've got so many other copies of it already, but that to me is the selling point. I think that is far more important than the Stephen Wilson remix. You can keep that for me. I want to listen to the 3 nights without anything cut out, without anything added in, but exactly as it was recorded from start to finish. So that's why I am going to eventually get that other box set. Whether I get both of them or which one, I don't know. But I'm sure you'll be the first to find out when I tell you on here. So that's it for this one then. It's probably turned out to be a longer episode than I thought. In fact, when it comes to me doing the editing, I may chop this bit from the Made in Japan bit off the end and make that a separate video altogether. We'll see how long it lasts for and how we go with it and see what we think. But whatever happens, as I said to you in the last video, I'm not allowed to say goodbye anymore. What I have to say is, have a look in my archive. Have a look at the old videos and see if you can find something in there that might interest you. And while you're doing that, I'll make a new one and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.